what are ways that you guys explain LMPC price objections? I mean, we've all chat with Buddy. Buddy does an excellent job of kind of like helping, coach. If you're not utilizing Buddy, I would encourage you to use it. He often has really good points and really good takeaways on just how to like effectively communicate with our clients. LMPC, limited. That's the contract that they sign. And this doesn't need to be callous in any way, shape, or form. It just is what it is. It's not a car warranty. LMPC, how do you guys, does somebody want to take a stab at explaining LMPC? What's the best and most effective way of explaining LMPC?
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like the best thing is to always just like give less information at first, and then if they ask more things, give more information. Obviously, like you're not going to start by giving a huge explanation. So I would just quote the price. Like, this is the price, it's under warranty, this is the price to replace it with a universal motor. And then like if they ask, like if they're pushing back on the price, I'd just say like, this is the cost for the labor and to file the warranty. That's it. And then at that point, I think that's like what the price is made out of. So if they like push back, sometimes I'll like say like, oh, we have fixed costs. Like we're not just changing the prices to, rip you off. Or I might not use that word, but like basically making the point that like we have fixed costs that don't change and we set them, making that point, and that's just go from there.
Yeah, it's nuanced, it's dynamic.
Yeah.
I kind of show them the price if it's on the LMPC and when it's not on the LMPC, and see how that price difference is. But then also explain to them that we do have to order it from a good supplier like Carrier. It's not just one you can get from Amazon. I say you can go to Amazon and get a blower motor if you like, but it's not going to be under warranty. The quality of the motor itself is not up to par, and we do warranty for a year. So when you kind of add on to like the cost of the unit itself, not just the motor, but then we professionally take it out. If the blower wheel is dirty, we'll clean it out while we're here. We make sure that it's functioning properly, etc. So I think just adding on top of like not just replacing the motor, but we'll take the motor out, carefully, make sure the squirrel cage is good, clean it out. The price difference between LMPC and when it's not. Or if you'd rather go with like, if you'd rather get the motor from Carrier or Lennox rather than having the truck stock, it's going to be a little more expensive. We can do it right now and get you guys cooling. Mm-hmm. So stuff like that, that's what I would do. But I really did, I mean, for the price itself on the LMPC, it's not a bad price. Mm-hmm. I usually don't get any kickback from homeowners. Mm-hmm. Especially when it's like $715 rather than, $345 or whatever the cost is.
Yep. What else? Any other stabs at it?
I would just say it's not manufacturer's motor, it's our motor. We have to get reimbursed for it. We come with your warranty. They're paying for us to go out there. Everything is installed. Mm-hmm. My knowledge on that. So it's not just the labor. It's not just a lot.
There will always be those people that are out of touch with reality and crazy. And we have to demonstrate that we're more grounded and we're not on their same level by not matching their crazy. Just operating on a totally different playing field, letting what they do not destroy our day, which can be hard because people are just very frustrating. But on the other hand, usually when there's an escalation at that level, most of the time there's been miscommunications along the way, or there's been a misunderstanding. We used to go all the time with the capacitors, you know, LMPC capacitor was the same price for a long time as the truck stop capacitor. And so it's just helping the customer understand why we're charging what we're charging. Which, by the way, why are we charging?
To make money.
To make money. So, number one, like top of the line price objection, comeback is that I'm worth that money. That's the number one. So that's your biggest tool in your pocket, which is like, I'm a pro, I'm trained, I know what I'm doing, and that costs a lot of money to pay someone like me to do this work. Or, in the same vein, a little less focused on you, is it matters to Kalos to pay their technicians well. And so we want to make sure everybody can raise a family off of this job and it be a real career. Those are really hard to complain about as a customer. So always have those two. You're not paying for the capacitor, you're paying for me. You're paying for an experienced technician to be in your home, and then you have all of Kalos backing whatever I do. And that takes a lot of money overhead. Most of the time, as simple as that ends the conversation, because customers feel like they want to catch you in two areas. They want to like trap you. The two areas they want to trap you in is how much time you spent on the job and how little the part costs. Right? Well, as long as you're confident that the capacitor might cost $25, 7.5 capacitor might cost $25. But as long as you're confident that the price that we're charging isn't really about that capacitor, it's about what it takes to get the capacitor to that house and installed by a professional. I have noticed that the warranty conversation shouldn't be brought into the price objection conversation. It should be added on after. Overcome the price objection, and then later on, just want you to know you have a warranty on this if anything happens. People don't want to pay for the fact that it might break down. They don't want to pay right now that the system might break down. It can add to that negative conversation, even though that's a part of our pricing. You can use phrases like, if anything happens, we always take care of our customers. We're not a company that's going to charge you and then go out of business. It takes a lot to be here year round. I've told people we don't hire technicians and then fire them in the slow season. We keep them year round, and it takes a lot to be a company to do that. So all of these, like, based around the skilled people and the extra money it takes to do that, is where you want to lean into. If there's a known price, making really clear that conversation is had beforehand and double checking in on that. Always good.
I guess a good question would be, do you have any concerns or questions before I begin? Like,
Yeah.
so at least, you didn't express this when I asked you, so like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Yeah. So in that situation, it's always going to be better. The customer feels like they have this big weapon in their hand. They're going to shock you because they looked up the part cost online and now they got you. And so if you just tell them, the part cost is just a fraction of this. Most of this is just overhead, and then some of it's the labor of getting me an experienced technician on site doing this work. What it takes to make an experienced technician, all of the background work and training that goes into that. And so, like, it's always good to give them that expectation, and then if they wanna know how much that fraction is, I don't know, we don't do a price breakdown. I know we can get numbers even from Buddy, but even that number wouldn't be what the customer would pay. That might be a Kalos specific number. Cause we have a bigger discount somewhere or something like that, so it's like, even that number is not really realistic for retail price on that part. What's all the hidden labor that goes into LMPC?
Lines warranty claim.
Warranty
acquiring
claim?
a part.
What's the warranty claim process?
That's Buddy's side, his labor for processing the warranty.
What is?
Us driving out there to take a look at the system, actually installing the motor, and, and acquiring the part as well to bring it through.
One thing that the customer should know is that we had to pay for the motor, hoping that we'd get our money back in the end, and there's risk and loss that goes into that when you're dealing with the warranty. So that's part of it. We already paid for this motor, we paid full price. And then the next thing is, we have to get the old part back to the manufacturer and hand it to them at the desk. We have to hand this, we have to pick up the part from somebody and we have to hand it back to them. There has to be filled out paperwork on all of this, or else we're not gonna get our money back. We might have thought we did everything, but we didn't cross our T's, dot our I's, we didn't get our money back. So there's risk involved, there's also a lot of extra labor, paperwork, picking up the part, dropping it off. Now, if you have a part in your van, why do you have that part in your van?
Because the labor had to go forward, make sure I had it on my van.
Still the same, you still had to go pick it up, and we still had to pay for it, and we put it on our van preemptively. So it's still the same hidden labor in all of our LMPC. So, that can really help a customer understand as well. If I don't take this and drive it to carrier and hand it to them at the parts counter, we're gonna eat all the money for this motor and lose money here. So I do notice that when people are upset, they don't really wanna hear all the reasons unless they want to hear all the reasons. So you make your statement about the value. It's me as a skilled tradesperson, the overhead it takes to be a company that stands behind our technicians, that trains them, and doesn't fire them in the slow season. Great. If they still want to know the details, they'll ask more. But you can let people be upset. That part's totally fine if you're making the true value statements. One thing I like to do is ask, do you want me to give you more details of what cost goes into this? No, I don't really want to hear about it. Okay, do you want me to put the part in? And that's fine. If they're upset, they might not want to hear about it. Some people are like, yeah, I would like to know. And then that's when you can list the cost of our building, cost of van maintenance, your manager's salary. Like, all of that has to be collected from a customer in this transaction, right? So everything it takes to run a company.
Your trainer's salary?
Trainer salary, well, you could say that. That one, we don't need to bring that one into the picture. If they need an enemy, it's gotta be the manager. So, yeah, asking them if they want more details before you just give your full speech. What does a full speech sound like? If a customer's frustrated, how does that come across? What does that make you look like when you give an entire spiel and the customer's like waiting to talk, but you're talking, like you want to tell the whole story as fast as you can? So help them understand.
We give a pre-rehearsed.
It either rehearsed, yep, or it sounds like you're afraid to have this conversation, you're struggling in it, you're trying to like shut this down. The best thing you can do with price objection is lean into the conversation and be silent a lot. Let the room just, before you talk. That's true. Well, here's what it is for us. That's like the best thing you can do. When they feel that you're trying to get out of it, because you're like, no, it's this, and it's this, and it's this, and it's this. You don't understand. Like, that doesn't help the conversation nearly as much. And again, like, nothing beats that confidence of like, I don't really have anything to explain here other than that what I'm doing is very valuable. Nothing beats that kind of, yeah, I do understand that, but it costs a lot to be a company to have skilled trained technicians do work like this. So most of it is you're paying for me. Silence. And it's just that, like, that's much better than 10 minutes of explaining every price detail. You can get there, some people want this and they need that, but, don't go there on your own.
Also, your client, one thing that I learned with Buddy is like your client's gonna tell you the information that they're looking for specifically. So active listening, and then you can respond in kind to that. Active listening, I mean, you guys know that Buddy loves telling stories, about, how we eventually got to our resolution, but a lot of it on Buddy's end is listening. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, another phone call, another conversation, albeit it's a little bit of a different situation, but so much of it is just listening. And then empathy, like LMPC on HVAC is kind of universal and standard, 10 years, 12 years, different warranties, whatever.
But it sucks.
Brian has an entire podcast on it. Manufacturer Responsibility Manifesto. Again, I would highly encourage you guys, it looks like Elliot probably listened to it.
Oh, yeah.
I would encourage you to listen to it because it basically reduces us to parts changers. We don't get paid for gas, we don't get paid for braze rods, we don't get paid for your time. Carrier, Lennox, the big manufacturers are basically paying for the part. And so I agree with you. This isn't, taking your vehicle to X dealership and this is included and this is included and this is included, depending on the warranty. It's just the cost of the part.
Yeah.
So in their generosity, in their kindness, and their goodness to the people of planet Earth, they are covering the cost of the part, and that's it. That's it. So yeah, you can totally. I agree. I'm just as frustrated as you, but we're not doing this for free. So all that to say, active listening with our clients, and then you can respond. And it doesn't have to be this big litany of also this and then the thing and then the thing. It's I can respond to you specifically in the objections that you're giving.
That's really good, because if, for instance, if your customer actually isn't having a price objection, they're having a warranty objection, it can sound exactly the same. They're really mad they have to pay money.
They're just upset they have to pay.
But they don't think you're charging too much as this thing should be taken care of by our manufacturer. And that's a very different conversation. You want to validate those emotions and understand, we don't make money. We're trying to take care of people and not lose money in LMPC, but it's a really crappy deal for everyone involved. The amount of risk and loss and extra work it takes that we can't charge for. And it's a really crappy situation for everyone. And understanding the difference between that. I was like, wait a minute, why are you charging that much? And find out by listening to them and asking questions. Do they think I'm ripping them off, or are they thinking that they had a warranty and they're pretty upset with how the warranty played out? But I want you to practice in your role play, not talking too fast or too much. Okay? And then if anybody hears something that felt especially good, confident, you can repeat that to the whole class afterwards. Does that make sense? And this is the kind of thing that is really good. I'm driving to an upset customer, I'm role playing in my head the whole way there for different things. And I'm shortening it down, I'm whittling it down, shorter, shorter, shorter. And then I show up ready to listen, not give my solutions. Ready to listen and hear them all the way out. And once they're satisfied that they've been heard, they've been understood, then they're ready to hear your side. Anybody hear any good lines or something you want to share with the class? Their technician was particularly skilled.
Well, Louise said that, if you don't go with us, we don't care. So.
Nice.
Whatever, I gotta go.
Some version of that is okay.
All depending the day,
That customers will say, what if I could do this myself? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we don't mind you doing that. Don't recommend it, but there's some good YouTube videos out there. Make sure you're turning off power if you want to give that a try. I'm okay with that.
Also,
And,
telling people the diagnosis before talking about price. So
Oh yeah.
you have a failed blower motor, walking outside, I'm gonna find out the price, they're thinking about it, rather than being you have a failed blower motor, it's $700.
Agreed.
Then they're like,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
with the capacitor, I just let them know the value of the new stuff, and you know, you don't want to be without AC middle of summertime. Okay, so it'll be more, it's literally expensive, but
Yeah.
you may not have to replace it. So you replace the system, may not,
Yeah.
unless something like big major issue happen,
Yeah,
you should be fine. So there's value here. And most of the time that where they say, oh, yeah, I don't wanna be without AC.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think also like not giving the homeowners like an ultimatum, like, oh, if you don't do it with us, you're not gonna get a blower motor or et cetera, you tell them that, this is what we have as our options. You don't have to stick with us, but you can definitely call different companies, or you can go to manufacturing, you can go,
yeah,
Amazon if you like, but if you want to be cool today, I can definitely take care of it within an hour or so,
Yeah.
so, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
I think we simplified, like the price for the blower motor is $325, but there's also a trip fee, so I just gave one number instead of saying, oh, it's $325 plus a trip fee, like, don't make me do math. You said I thought you said it was $225, what's this extra thing? Oh, it's the trip fee, like, no,
Yeah.
just give them one number.
always tell them the extra money. Remember, it's not that little bit of extra money that's the problem. When they feel frustrated, it's not that it's 95 more. Maybe it's that they thought it was gonna be 3 something and then later it's 95 more. But in that moment, it's gonna be the same difficult conversation. If you add the 395, this much plus 395, which will be this at the end. One smooth conversation. And keep it in there.
One thing I do, I try to, like Edo say, bundle the price, and if they want breakdown, then I
Yeah,
kind of try to.
a little bit of a breakdown, yeah,
But
that's good.
I can take care for the entire repair for this much.
The cost of today's stock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there you go.
Don't start
back
like,
up
oh, it's gonna be 95 for this and then 349 for the capacitor, then you have these, then and that doesn't sound
Yeah.
right.
That's really good. One price conversation. Also, Adriel asking questions that only a technician would know, or his approach in the conversation. That does happen sometimes where a person's done their research and maybe they ask a question that you're completely unexpected. I had a guy, one of my worst price objections happened here in Claremont. And I just kept my cool and pushed through the conversation, and I had to replace a breaker. And he's like, I know that breaker costs $15. And those things are pretty easy to replace. I'm like, yeah, but I got it right here, and this is what it costs for me to do it. And so at the end of the price objection, he kind of relaxed me a little bit, and he's like, man, I'd love to have you up, give a class for my guys. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I run an HVAC company, I got 35 guys, this is my second home. I just wanted, this is a problem that everybody deals with, I just wanted to see. I was ready to punch him in the face. Then, he's
You took
like,
that class?
but he's like, I'll take care of the breaker anyway, you can charge me for it, and he goes and gets the breaker and puts it in himself. He was really tripping on himself, it was Mr. Ego for sure, but you never know, it's the kind of situation where if I had made up something that wasn't true to try to make it sound better, or had got stuck with anything other than this is just the value, it could have ended really bad.
The question I asked Alex was, I thought I had a labor and part warranty. Just like when you purchase the equipment, it tells you have labor and part, like with Tyler, and Tyler specifies that to the customer. So I didn't get into how much it was. That was a legit question, because I was like, well, I thought I had this warranty. Why am I getting charged? So it's like I asked it later on, because I have experience with customers that would, how to say, be on the surface level, and then they would just get deeper at that. It's like, oh.
Suddenly,
I was like, okay, well, it's like, it wasn't as much as techie, it was just more like, okay, I really thought I had a part in labor.
That does happen sometimes too, yeah. And also they've processed a little bit, so when you come back, they have another question, warranty's one of those other ones they'll add on later. Yeah. And in that situation, what do you do?
Well, I mean, if it's, that's, one of the first things I probably would have addressed is like, it's a failed blower motor, the system no longer has a labor warranty.
Okay.
So that because that's gonna be the first thing that they're wondering.
Yeah, that's good.
And when I'm finding failed parts, I'm going back in the history and seeing if we've already replaced it.
Yeah,
So like if
preemptive,
it's capacitor or whatever.
preemptive, having
And
that
then
conversation.
that's cleared out of the way, for the rest of the conversation, it's like, because obviously they're gonna be wondering if they paid for a warranty, like whether it's expired or not.
Yeah. And if you don't preempt it, then you just stop in that moment. Don't blow them off. Don't be like, no, you don't have it. Be like, I'll check. I definitely wanna make sure before I charge you money. Give me a second to check. So, or you can say something like, yeah, I looked at that, but let me double check. Cause I don't wanna charge you when you shouldn't be charged. Pull up the system quote, look at the notification, the property again, whatever. Something you already looked at, that's fine. But definitely listen to them when they're worried they might be getting taken advantage of. All right, so we're gonna do summary and key takeaways. Listening, the most powerful weapon. Actually address where they're at, what's really bothering them. Keep it simple and make you and paying technicians the value point. And then don't give them extra information unless they are begging and asking for more of your story. You know, stick with what you said, keep it simple. Don't give them extra unless they want more details. And then you can talk about the rent of our building or the mechanic we have to keep full time, whatever. This capacitor used to be 210, but we hired a mechanic full time.
So it's 220.
It's also an AMRAP.
Somebody's salary.
I have, so to Charlie's point, the value thing, like motor, LMC motor, the actual motor, or like even the capacitors, if you're doing the good, better, best kind of thing, like, I think the last time I did that, I sold it as $225 for the manufacturer's capacitor, $350 for the AMRAD, and like $644 for the, and he yelled at me, he's like, did you say $350? Right, he didn't object to the manufacturer one, he objected to the upgrade one, right? So like, just showing where you are on the value scale, I think is a nice little tool.
Yeah, also don't call it a manufacturer one unless it is.
Yeah,
Because the manufacturer sounds like your best option. It sounds like, oh yeah, I'm putting the right part in the system.
I just use the word standard, I think.
Yeah.
And, you know, something that we've gone over and over and over again is like, our clients will get somebody out there to get them cooling. When it comes to LMPC, anybody can service this machine.
Yeah.
Anybody can service this. The good news is, you know, that's another tool that you guys have. Like any company can come and do that clean. I am here today with the motor or whatever the part is, but that is certainly, you know, your prerogative. Like anybody else can follow this clean. I'm confident in our pricing. You know, it's really competitive, if not a lot of times, you know, just the teensiest bit under, and maybe some things are just the teensiest bit over for the good and honest companies. But that's a card, you know, like I know you want to get cooling today. Like you don't want to sleep in your home overnight. So that's something that can be, you know, acknowledged and leveraged as well. As like, you know, you can get anybody out here. I'm out here. I'm prepared. I'm ready to do it.
Make sure if you're feeling frustration, which is fine to feel frustration, it's even fine to express frustration. Just don't respond on their level. So it's like, I'm gonna call someone else. Well, then call someone else. I don't care. Like, that's different than being like, yep, there are other companies that would be happy to come out here. I would rather take care of you today. Like, there's a world of a difference. One of them is not acknowledging the fact they're gonna have to take off work and pay for another diagnostic fee, and it's not a good option. If we offer it as if it's a good option, it's not, and they know that. We're not afraid of it, but we're not, you know, fine, go do your thing, you know? And again, it's fine to be frustrated and even to show frustration as long as you're not getting on their level. You're saying the same thing you said before. Simple, straightforward, with anger in your voice.
Thanks for watching. If you're willing, give this video a thumbs up and drop us a comment. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to stay updated with all of our future videos. And as a quick reminder, HVAC School isn't just a YouTube channel. Dive deeper with us at our main website, hvacrschool.com. Curious for more knowledge on the go? We've got you covered. Tune into the HVAC School podcast, available on all your favorite podcast apps. And while you're at it, join our thriving Facebook group. Also, don't miss out on our free mobile applications available for both iPhone and Android. We're all about community. For techs, by techs.